I mean, I reckon this could be, it goes in Copenhagen Flames' favour, basically, the veto, but we have to see how the game plays out to actually find out. Or we can always look at the paper stats forever, but it doesn't come to reality until it plays out on the server. And already we've got some trades coming in. Some players will get the first kill, but Nico will trade it. It is going to be a CT side start for Copenhagen Flames on Vertigo, our first map, and they are going in for a bit of a B split here. In toward Jabby, he needs a couple of frags here, gets one, but he gets traded straight away. 2v3 on this retake. Nico does have a kit. It's possible, but the plant will come in good time and should mean that it's going to be a very difficult retake for these two remaining CTs.
Yeah, not going to be easy at all. You'd have to imagine that smoke going down to just try and siphon off that left-hand side. A kill needs to come in quite quickly, and Alex overexposes himself out to that default position. Defs has been seen, so Zyphon just trying to see if he can hold down that angle. Smoke onto the bomb itself, not quite going down to the best position possible. And Movistar Riders, they could just try and play time. Nico Erdos just going to tap the bomb, try and see if he can draw those fights out into the open. He's trying to work in and around the smoke. The Glock will be able to find that connection. He does have a kit to work with. He needs to get this kill in quickly, and it doesn't seem like it's going to happen at all. Defs with a couple of kills. Movistar Riders starting off, and that whole round, it made it so difficult for the retakers to come in that 2v3. Great entries on that split into the B side.
Yeah, very good. And in the end, Nico not realising he was pushed right past that smoke as well. That was actually quite smart in the end from Movistar to play those positions as they did. And that is a very important start for them, of course. And when you have a pick of Vertigo and you start on the T side, I've always said it can be a little bit of an advantage considering how this map plays out and, in the pro scene as of late and in general, really. It can be a little bit T-sided in the current guise, and it can give you a little bit of an advantage to start off already. A little bit of a play coming in toward A. Fast Movistar Riders this time, not waiting for any of these smokes. They're past them. We're going to be going straight in here to the A site. Roy will get an important opener though with the CZ. WG will go down, and he can fall back past this smoke as well, and possibly play a little bit longer in this round, because Nico does have a scout available, which can be dangerous, especially in his hands. Some flashes to help out here. Mopos is next to this smoke, so it's a bit dangerous. Looking like they want to go for the bomb plant, and there's a nice elevated position. They're going to pounce on it though, in through this smoke, trying to do some damage, but Alex has got their number. It should be fine. Only two left now for Copenhagen Flames, and I believe that even though Alex is 16 HP and some parts is 28, they should have resolved this one. There needs to be some insane shots hit here from Zyphon, and I think he's about to be spotted as well. Oh, that's unlucky. Double Goosh coming in there from the MAC-10. Only saw a little pixel of his head. He'll be a little bit confused about that one, but now it's all down to Jabby to save the MP9. Very clean for Movistar in the end.
It seemed as if it could have been a rough start. You have a look at Roy playing out from behind yellow to that alley entrance, getting that first pick in from the CZ, and everything after that was just them getting baited. We saw the bomb plant getting tapped the first time. The AK's up on the rafters, just trying to see if they can draw as many of those fights in as possible. Yabby seeing if he could do some exit damage to the end of the round. Doesn't really happen at all. Only one player going down. And for Movistar Riders, they're actually ranked third in this entire event for the highest pistol win percentage. This is now them 11 wins and only 6 losses. So in a lot of the games that we've seen from them, they've always been able to get off to some very good starts in their best of ones and even in the best of threes.
Yeah, for sure, and we've seen some insane work from these boys on those sort of situations in ones where you wouldn't necessarily expect them to win either. So it's pretty nutty. And of course, with them getting those 2 first rounds on the board, they can now have the chance to farm. It's WG on the MAC-10 looking to try and build up that cash as Copenhagen Flames are on a full eco. But yeah, this is exciting for these two rosters, of course. They'll probably be feeling the nerves a little bit. It is LAN, don't forget. They are in a scenario which they are a little bit more unaware of than they otherwise would be. Of course, they've had time to settle in with all the impressive victories they've had. But still, it's the nerves now when you're in a game which would actually qualify you straight up for the major. So it's exciting for both these teams, no shadow of a doubt. And now Movistar Riders just need to avoid these pistols. There's a bit of a stack toward the A ramp, and if they do, they should have their clean 3-0 start. WG is ready here and waiting with the MAC-10. They're about to pounce on him though, so he could be in some trouble. Mid-range with the MAC-10 is never going to work out when you're getting pounced on by 3 players. And he will get taken down, but they'll know now, and they should be able to herd the bomb back off toward B sooner or later.
No, you'd have to imagine so. Seeing if they can cut some of the rotates off from mid. Copenhagen Flames are just hoping for any damage in this sort of round, hoping they don't get farmed, which they'll pretty much have an idea straight away. They hope, considering that they're able to drop that one MAC-10 out from the bottom of the the ramp position, Def's just trying to get hunted down, so a chance for one more kill at most, not going to happen. 3 on the board in for Movistar Riders, and now this is a chance to see the rifles coming in. We should see that AWP out for Nico Erdos. You could also have an opportunity later on where Yabi might be double AWPing as well. Ziffon's been quite impressive over from the B site from a lot of these Vertigos that we've seen from them recently, and this is where pressure's going to start building. Movistar Riders just working with the early momentum.
Yeah, and having a double AWP set up on the CT side of Vertigo can be risky. I mean, it's a huge investment, but later on in the game when they have built up that economy, I would be interested to see how they play it out, because it can be a factor that can catch off T's, and the more CT rounds you get, especially on Vertigo, the more it can happen. Actually, that's an early duel. Alex just doesn't care about that smoke. He's going for a duel straight away, and Roy gets completely caught off from that. And what an opening pick that is for the Movistar Riders. That is an incredible start for them. And they're going to go straight back in toward B to try and respond from that. Yabi gets himself one on the defense. They can drop that smoke as well to cover, but they are going to try and pounce on it, I believe. The bomb is dropped toward the B stairs, so they are here ready and waiting, but look at the rotations coming in. Copenhagen Flames have 3 players here to help out with this one. Mollies are ladening the site as it stands, and they've sort of been stalled at the moment here, Movistar Riders.
They're forced to be in a difficult predicament. Do you just double pump or start running out of default? See if you can get a lurk up from mid. See if you could just try and bail out these CTs that are here on the B side. And for Yabi, they're just waiting for the full-on push forward. Finally, we're going to see a slight breakaway as Nico Erdos starts making an info play out from mid. Yabi's got to be careful with how wide he goes.
Yeah, he does, because he can be spotted very easily, and Arm can give you the information, and it's not going to work out in the end for Movistar Riders. That's a good trade at least, but Zyphon gets 2 from it, and now Nico is here to help out as well. 3v2, Zyphon, oh, he actually does get taken down by Defs, and there's no one close to actually deny this bomb plant unless Nico wants to go through this smoke. It could be a possibility. He's going to try it, but no, he's stopped by some Pious, and the advantage is now back in Movistar Riders' favour. What a recovery this is. 4-0, clean sheet remains intact. Defs is on 10 kills with 0 deaths to start this game. Not living up to his name at all. That is a start and a half.
Yeah, it really is. The 25-year-old's having a great time here for the Movistar Riders, and what a whole recovery basis that was. It really felt as if that Zyphon had won that round. You saw the early contact of him getting a couple of kills at the M4A1S. Numbers advantage is completely in favor of the Copenhagen Flames, and then out of nowhere we start seeing individual duels being taken, an aggressive AWP peak that comes in from that last round. Same could be said to come in from Sampayas, winning out an opening man advantage, doing very well in the early portion.
Man, this is an incredible start. I mean, Copenhagen Flames don't really necessarily seem like they've figured out exactly what Movistar Riders like to do at the moment. And usually these pistols and, MP9s, which can be so powerful, basically an M4 close range, we've seen Copenhagen Flames do ridiculous work on these sort of buys in this whole tournament. And winning rounds they're not necessarily supposed to win. But at the moment, they're being stopped with some nice initiative being taken by Movistar Riders. And Defs with this insane start so far is really an unexpected one for him, I'm sure. Nico has a little gap that he can peek through and see the information, not necessarily have the reactions quick enough to hit a headshot in that situation, especially as that wall is, I don't think, wall bangable unless you shoot to the edge of it. Bit of a boost coming in to try and get that MP9 with a bit of vision, but Defs again, 11th kill of the game. Let's just keep counting him up. He's doing more and more work. Make that 12, and Davi G is there to help out as well. There should be a clean one. 5 players will be remaining alive here, unless Nico can do something on this Deagle, and that is just ridiculously good for that T-side economy.
Just building the funds, and for Defs, start firing him up, giving him as much support as possible, because this guy is coming through and he is performing on this T side of Vertigo. And another thing to kind of consider here, Trav, is that Mopos is currently ranked 9th in the event for his opening kills per round at just under 0.20. He doesn't even feel like the one opening up a lot of bomb sites. We're seeing some support coming through from some Pious with the orb, creating these opening duels, winning out a lot of 5-on-4 advantages.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't really had to be called into action at all yet, and that can be, a fantastic feeling, to be honest, when you know that you are ready and raring to go, but you don't necessarily have to do anything as of yet. Big buy coming in for Copenhagen Flames. They need to establish something on this CT side, and again, the AWP pick to start us off. Second of the game for Sampayas. That is going to be a lot of confidence for him to work with. Already, Hooksy going down. He's had a very poor start. No kills on the board as of yet. He'll be hoping that rectifies in a very short period of time. And of course, last time these two teams played each other, the only time these two teams have played each other, when they played Vertigo in a best of 3, it was Copenhagen Flames winning at 16-12. So, I mean, this is already Perhaps a little bit of an upset in that situation. Roy goes searching toward A ramp. We'll get some information, but he can only go 1-for-1. So that now gives Movistar Riders basically all the information they need to group up, probably go toward a site together. And it looks like Copenhagen Flames might be gambling all in one spot here.
There's a lot of pressing going on for Movistar Riders on this T side. We're not seeing a lot of mid-lurks or mid-walks. We're just seeing a lot of pressure being applied out from the B stairs in the early portion of the round. Ramp out too. Zyphon's made an info play. The only problem is they're trying to capitalize on squeezing them at ramp, and it's a risk, right? When you rotate as many players as they did over to that A side, they can look for some exits here or there. In terms of going for the retake, it doesn't really look on.
Yeah, I mean, you just wouldn't risk this, would you? I mean, Xabi is close up. If he gets one frag here early on, then maybe it's something they could look to go for. And he goes through the smoke looking for the duel, but no. Alex deals with him, and that will definitely now be the call to save. Nico and Zyphon will have to keep these two guns into the next round. There's a bit of utility available for Zyphon as well, so it's important to keep that. The most expensive grenade of them all, of course, the Incendiary. So it can all help in the next coming rounds. They're going to have pistols probably alongside this AWP and Silenced M4. So Movistar Riders, they're looking impenetrable at the moment. This is an incredible start from them. And of course, when you consider the fact that the Vertigo was a pick we spoke about before the game, Dweg, about how it being a situation where, you know, Copenhagen Flames, they're good on this map as well. Both of the teams are good on it, but you wouldn't necessarily pick this map into Copenhagen Flames. They are, and they're proving it to be the right choice at the moment in these early stages.
Yeah, sometimes you do just have to back yourself, and it was a risk. I looked at it as a risk, and so far it's paying off quite well. Tactical timeout looking to come in from the Copenhagen Flames, and this is a point of discussion that I want to start getting into, Trav, is what do we think about the pressure being applied on Copenhagen Flames with the praise, right? We have a look at them over the course of this event, pro players, analysts, commentators. Oh, we've been loving Copenhagen Flames. They've been playing so well, and it's nice to be able to receive all of that. Then does it make you think, well, actually, we've got to perform here now, that we're being sort of set to such a high standard, we've got to push that boundary even further. And I wonder if all of that pressure is now starting to loom on them, knowing we've done so well so far. One best of three is all we need, because this has been a very slow start from them on Vertigo.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I will mention is the fact that when they played Aura, obviously in this event, the young Swedish roster, that was actually quite a struggle for them. Obviously, they were the clear, overwhelming favourites for that. They only managed to scrape through it 16-14 with a ridiculous defuse rate, which I know you witnessed. And that's a sort of a result which doesn't, you know, hold you in a huge amount of confidence despite these other results, knowing when you're the favourite. Because, you know, being the favourite can change mentalities, it can change setups, playstyles, that sort of thing. It can make you do something different, where you otherwise would play a little bit more aggressive. At the moment, perhaps hanging back as they are, some Pius has punished them the last couple of rounds with the AWP. Perhaps that could be a reason why at the moment they're playing a little bit more nervy. Nico is looking for a duel toward ramp. He could have the duel toward this Krieg. Gets the tag though, down to 13 HP. That is a horrible way to start a round when you have the AWP and looking to try and make an impact with it. He's got two MP9s and a Deagle alongside the AK to surround it. As Zyphon switched off that Silenced M4 at the end of that previous round. But again, Movistar Riders have progress.
Just start capitalizing. And for Copenhagen Flames, they haven't been able to take a lot of map territory away at all in this first half. Nico Erdos keep sort of prodding around, seeing if he can find a pick, seeing if he can establish an opening fight. And even for Davy G's getting a perfect flash in from his teammate, Nico Erdos couldn't see anything.
That was just incredible. They're doing everything right so far. The flashes are in the right spot. The smokes are in the right spot to block off any of these plays. And if Copenhagen Flames, you know, don't respect the smokes and go through them, we've seen that Movistar Riders have had enough to stop them anyway. So this is a ridiculously clean start so far. And I'm going to keep mentioning it. I mentioned it in every cast since I started casting, you know, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. It's so difficult on Vertigo since it was added to the pool. To get a good start on the CT side sometimes. I mean, T is favoured, and it's going to be tough. In the end, Moppos is going to do great work here on this attempted retake to get 2 frags. That should be enough, because now it's only Roy remaining on the MP9. He's looking to do damage. Will actually take the AWP out of some Pius' hands, but they're going to easily be able to recover that as WG gets the frag with that Krieg, which you don't usually see pulled out as much anymore these days, but still, he's making it work. And the start from Movistar Riders is insane. Death is still yet to die. We're round 8. It's funny that, isn't it? I literally mentioned it earlier. He's not living up to his name at all, is he?
No, he's having a great performance, and I'm sure the whole team's getting behind him. Movistar Riders just not even being tested, and for Copenhagen Flames, we saw them on this map only in the quarterfinals against Vitality. They put 9 rounds up on the T side, kept it to a 14-16 loss, incredibly close against the French side. And this time around, though, it is not easy, and well, finally, some sort of advantage being found. HooXi turning away from that flash. Flash didn't come in.
That feels like basically the first opening pick Copenhagen Flames have had in this entire game so far. I'm pretty sure they've had no other advantage so far. Finally, they have something to work with. It's been a very huge dry spell, not something they would have wanted so early on in such a critical matchup, and that is HooXi's first kill as well, so that's at least something for him to work with. Now he's off the mark. It can always be, in regular sports, sometimes you say that getting the first is the hardest and you can relax, and now maybe he can on the AWP, looking to do some more entry work. He's already had 2 opening picks so far, which have been pretty critical to the round victories for Movistar Riders. He's looking for more, though, and that could be dangerous walking up into a smoke, and that's going to be easy for Mopos, spotting his gun barrel through that before it comes, before his whole player model comes through. And now 4v4 with 40 seconds to go. Copenhagen Flames go again in a little bit of a scary spot as they work their way toward A.
Roy's just hoping that he can force in an aggressive fight. Could get a flash over from his teammates. They're not seeing anything out from this ramp patrol. They don't even know about the rap that could come in. Roy getting a couple of picks. Mopos just has to try and strike. He's actually going to move forward to that smoke, see if he can cut the rotation off. Needs to at least get a couple of kills. Time is being stalled. He still doesn't know that Roy is right behind him. It all just comes down to a matter of timing. They've got to try and get this bomb down too. They've been able to pick off one of the AWPers. That's Nico Erdos to fall. And even a teammate with the AWP getting involved into the action. 15 seconds left. Some pies that to clutch.
This is doable, genuinely. I mean, he's got the AWP. 10 seconds to go is his big enemy right now. Zyphon's still around double stack. If he gets this kill, that was the key factor. Surely Zyphon won't let him go for this bomb plant. And there we go. I mean, that's incredible, as you say. Roy with 2 big frags. I was scared for a moment when some Pius got that frag toward Roy as that smoke faded, which stopped, basically, him killing his teammate. In that situation, it was scary. That could have easily been brought back, but in the end, it is recovered from Copenhagen Flames. They win their first CT round with a couple of players left alive, which is not too bad at all. But of course, we have our magical 7-1 scoreline, which we always seem to get in Counter-Strike these days. And at least they are off the board now, and they have a chance to work with something. Of course, the economy has been built up hugely for Copenhagen Flames, or for Movistar Riders, sorry, with 12k and 13k on death. So that's pretty ridiculous. They can hear these frags coming in from Roy. That was the main factor which basically secured them their first round.
You'd have to imagine what the mindset is here, being very positive for Movistar Riders. I love that as soon as they lose a round, instant tactical pause. We're not waiting another 2 or 3 rounds. It's that reset. And you have a look at that. You think to yourself, okay, we lost the opening pick. We forced out a completely over-aggressive HooXi out to that construction position out in ramp. They weren't really able to capitalize. And look at the pace. This is fast coming out for the Ds. Already getting the opening pick out to B. They're running through from mid. The MAC-10 does struggle. The B-side's completely open. And Siphon's been able to get 3.
That's a huge 3. I mean, that literally gives them the chance in this round. Some utility exchange in CT spawn, but they're going to get caught out while they do it. The uber-aggressive Movistar Riders in this round have completely caught Copenhagen Flames off guard, but the problem is it's back into a 1 versus 2. They have recovered it. Zyphon was the hero, but Deaths, the incredible fragger in this game so far, has a great chance. 1 versus 1 now against HooXi, but HooXi will play it smartly, spraying through the edge of that smoke to try and fool Deaths a little bit, and it works out nicely. But again, good damage done by Movistar Riders. Scary play into one middle there, as you mentioned. That was incredibly fast, catching out Nico, but in the end, Zyphon, a huge hero there.
Jeez, they're getting slammed on the Copenhagen Flames. They are reliant on individuals stepping up. We saw their first round that they won. It was Roy. He was able to get a multi-frag. That one right there, they lost the B anchor straight away. The run out from mid got them a 5-on-3. It was only that Zyphon, one of the A players rotating in to at least attempt to do as much damage as possible, he was the one that recovered that whole round for them.
Yeah, I mean, I believe it was Alex on the MAC-10 as well. He ran out of bullets on the MAC-10 trying to take him down. So if he hits 1 or 2 more bullets with that MAC-10 and actually gets that frag, that round probably goes in a completely different way because, it went into 1v1 anyway. It would have been a clutch for a CT rather than a clutch for a T. So that would have been a huge change in how that round would have played out. So, a few bullets can always make the difference in Counter-Strike, all down to fractions. And now We get to see if Copenhagen Flames can build up a little bit of this momentum now. Second round on the board, 2 in a row. Nico looks like he's desperate to face Sunpius, but really it's Sunpius who's done some of the best work so far. Nico only 2 kills on the board so far. It can be tough to get into the game when you're an AWPer and you're getting rushed by Mac 10s in middle sometimes. It can feel a little bit disheartening, especially in a game as crucial as this. And already, I mean, look at the utility level for Copenhagen Flames. You've got 2 or 3 players with none, with about a minute left on the clock. So that could be dangerous. Roy will get one, but again, treated straight away by Sunpius with a bit of a half wall bang there. And Nico is just looking for these kills. Surely he gets one sooner or later, but he gets faked out and has no choice but to throw a flash and fall back.
Re-smoke the angle to fake that he's actually working in and around that smoke, so we might see some free fire and some spams coming through from the Movistar Riders, giving a lot of information forward, and there it is. They're expecting that's where the AWP's relocated to. Hasn't happened at all. For Copenhagen Flames, they've got no util. They've completely run out of all of it.
Yeah, and with 30 seconds to go, that's scary. That is incredibly scary. Now, 25 seconds to go. Movistar Riders will have the smokes up toward A. It's going to be down to aggressive plays alone. Nico is toward Gap looking for the information, but he's full blind. What a ridiculous flash that is. And now Ziffon is still here doing more damage. That can help out in this round, and some more spray through the smoke. Hooksy puts Alex down to 26 HP, but they are able to get the bomb planted. But of course, as you mentioned, no retake utility could be a huge problem. Hooksy does have a defuse kit, so that keeps them alive in this situation. A little bit of a boost coming in, but Sunpius is aware of it. But in the end, they will tap him down over the top of double stack. Great headshot from Hooksy, and now they have an advantage. Alex low HP as well. Ziffon finds him. Now it's all down to death. So it looks like he can get the first, and he will, but it's immediately traded by Yabi, and that is a huge round for Copenhagen Flames to keep themselves going. With the bomb plant, Movistar Riders will have another buy, of course, having built up so much of an economy, but still, 3 on the board. They're getting somewhere now.
Yeah, they are, but they aren't. They're in a sort of half-half position, because you have to look at the scoreline. You go, rounds are important. The problem that Copenhagen Flames are finding is it's not comfortable at all. They're really struggling to find a lot of these picks. Defs is doing as much work as possible. The flash assists have been excellent. And for Movistar Riders, they've been 6th in this event for their flash assists per round. I think you mentioned a stat line that came through from Sunpius a little bit earlier on. The whole team has been excellent when it comes to this utility for Movistar Riders.
I mean, with that one flash toward Nico on Gap, I mean, again, just disheartening if you're Nico. He's either been flashed off angles, he's been shoulder peaked, he's been rushed by Mac 10s. I mean, you can look at his scoreline and say, okay, he's just not got into the game at all, and he's having a poor game, but he hasn't been allowed to have a game at the moment by Movistar Riders. Just an insanely clean way of clearing out the AWP so far on their T side, but they have lost the last 3 rounds, so they're going to have to try and put a little bit of a stop to that now. They're going to put a little bit of a boost toward middle. Death's 15-3 will boost up Alex on toward those boxes, and Nico is toward connector, looking to try and defend against this player. It's actually quite a lot of players toward middle here, and that could be unaware of, but there we go. Nice flick up. That's a good opener for him. And he's looking to try and do more, but he will again walk into Sunpius' AWP, and Mopos has taken Yabi on B as well. Down to 11 HP. Zyphon should be able to trade this one. He needs to get it. It's taking a long time, though, and with his smoke being deployed, this is a rough one. He has to peek past it. Will he catch him as he falls down the stairs? Will he need to be fast about this to recover the situation? And he will. And that should be it now, because now it's all Sunpius in a 1 versus 3. He's been insane in this game so far, but this might be beyond him.
Jeez, I'm loving the confidence in the youngster of Zyphon. He could have played that so passive up on the B side. Might even be able to fight a multi-frag deal with the AWPer. Doesn't quite happen. And Sunpius has got the bomb. This is very, very possible. When you think about the positions, you've got one backstab coming in from Roy. It all comes down to a matter of timing.
Yeah, absolutely. 25 seconds to go. He can have a chance at this one. He's wary of that flank as well. He's looking for the possibility of Roy, but I think he might just have missed that one, and there we go. The flank will come in and take him down. 4 in a row for Copenhagen Flames. They're starting to show up now, and finally, we're at a stage after such a long period where the economy is a problem for Movistar. Sure, you have 8k on Alex, you have 6 on Sunpius, but 3 players on around 3k or so. That could mean a bit of a couple of hero AKs, pistol buy coming in.
I have the feeling that we might start turning this whole map into a slight streak affair, right? Where we see a lot of momentum going one way, a lot of momentum going the other, rather than that back and forth nature, that up close and personal, a lot of individual rounds being won out, some slight aggression coming through from Ramp. Hooksy, they have no idea he's here.
They don't, and in the end it's Roy to finish off Alex anyway. That was the hero AK looking for a play. We saw Alex actually was successful with that early on, didn't we? He took down Roy, going for an aggressive play on the Galil. I think it was on the first buy round for Copenhagen Flames, and he tries it again, unfortunately not successful. And look at all the damage done by Hooksy. I mean, goodness me. Has he done enough damage to kill 2 players there without killing any? That is unfortunate for him, but it shouldn't matter. Roy is in a bit of a problem towards sandbags, but low players in front of him, and he's helped out by teammates as well. But okay, Death deals with him. This is now scary. 3v2 to work with. Man advantage. Minute left on the clock. Nico is here. But again, they can waste down the clock here and make Copenhagen Flames start to think.
How have we got into this position? It really felt as if Copenhagen Flames had the right read, and even an aggressive move in from Yabby, slow walking out to the ramp contact. It all just comes down to a matter of timing, or we might get them escaping. They're going back to try and escape. The bomb gets dropped, and now it comes down to Moppos on low HP for a moment of greatness there for Movistar Riders. Has completely fallen apart, and Moppos, what can he do in this position? 1v2, try and see if he can swing out wide. Doesn't quite happen for any connections. Very well timed for Copenhagen Flames. For them to start retaking silently that ramp position just as Movistar Riders are moving away.
That is a huge decision. I mean, I love it. I love that proactive initiative taking there by Copenhagen Flames. I mean, they had to. You're in a disadvantageous situation. You're 2v3. You know you've seen basically everyone because, you know, Hooksy's tagged about literally 60 people. Probably what it would feel like to him. I mean, the amount of damage he did without getting a kill is remarkable. In the end, cleared up nicely, as you say, with that re-aggression. And honestly, that could be a critical call. I really love that. To have your momentum halted can be rough, especially if you lose to pistols. But they keep it going. That's 5 in a row now. Movistar Riders had a 7-0 start, and they've been pegged back. Starting to see now why Copenhagen Flames are good on this map and why we were sort of questioning it beforehand, why it was a little bit of a risky pick for Movistar. The start was good, but, you know, it can always sort of lull you into a false sense of security sometimes when you have such a good start, and how suddenly, out of nowhere, it's just 2 the gap.
Copenhagen Flames have been working hard to bring this comeback in. Some pies with the orb getting flashed off. An aggressive move out from the SMG. Now, they would have known a lot of util came between them, and Hooksy with these aggressive moves hasn't really been all that successful these last handful of rounds. Even the nade damage is fantastic.
And it's probably a maximum damage nade there to be shared between both those teams. Hooksy down to 49. Some pies exactly the same. And a few tags coming in as well. Now AG's up toward those sandbags again, and we've seen Movistar Riders do some great work on these takes. It's been their most successful play, I feel like, in this game so far. But Roy has been the man to stop it, really, hasn't he, in the last few rounds or so. Up to 12 kills, he is co-top fragging with Zyphon on Copenhagen Flames. It's still Deft in the server to be the main man, but it's those 2 players have been the main factor for Copenhagen Flames in getting themselves almost back even again in this game. And on the CT side of Vertigo, that is no mean feat. Looks like we are looking to be preparing to go toward B in the end. There's some smokes coming in. Yabby is close up. And it could be a position that goes unchecked for Movistar Riders, but it's going to be a fake. They're walking back toward A here. This could be a good call because there are 2 players toward B and a player toward window. So they're making the right choice at the moment.
Gotta wonder if they're going to put that molly down out to the sandbags, because with the time being so low, they may completely overcheck it. And if Roy's got that sort of sustainability of the crossfire to pull the distraction over, no one might check this.
It is very doable for Roy now. They're going to look for it, I'm sure. They have one Molotov on Death, but is it going to be used? It's not going to be. Gets 1.8 basically kills, but no, Moppos. Oh, that's a huge frag toward Hooksy. 10 seconds to go, though. They need to get this plant quickly, and Nika can go for some wallbangs here, and he's only gone on hit it, and no scope to Death's up close as well. What about that from Nico? That is absolutely nutty, and in the end, it will be stopped. Alex is too far away and can't get it down. Oh my goodness, Dweg. We've seen a contender for player of the day already.
Oh, what a massive moment coming out for the big man. Nico Odos does it in style. The wall bang with the time being low, denying that bomb from going down, even hitting the no-scope of the trading player that's trying to get out there to the top of default, just looking for a pick back, looking to give him some comfortability. Roy only finding 1 in that situation. You look at that and think, oh, maybe that's not enough, right? Maybe he needed to get a multi-frag, get him more in that situation. Nico Odos just slowing that down. Yabby does fall quite early into the round, so at least there's a response in from Movistar Riders in the next.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned, didn't we, that Nico's been a bit quiet so far, but can just take 1 round like that to remind everyone exactly why he's on this roster and exactly why they've made it so far. As you say, though, another pick from Alex, again, on the AK. I think that's the 3rd time he's gone for it, and the 2nd time he's been successful on this sort of a round with the pistol surrounding it. This is very doable now for Movistar. Copenhagen Flames have pulled 6 back in a row now to make it only 1 the gap. Hooksey's up close. He's got a crossfire with Roy, and that could be the main factor here. If Roy gets taken down, they should be able to overwhelm Hooksey. In comes the flash. Roy is flashed off the angle, but it's a good amount of damage, and that can afford Roy to peek. They do go 3 for 2, basically. So it's going to be a 2 versus 2. Defs is waiting for a rotation. I think he actually might have heard this player coming in from behind, and that could be why they're waiting. 50 seconds to go. They have time to wait for this flank, and the tech line up close is never going to miss that. That's a free AK for Deaths, and out of nowhere, it's all down to Nico.
Hey, he's got to try and clutch it. Got to try and make a big play. And for Movistar Riders, they're just going to be walking straight into that open B site. AWP returning in time. Or does he make the aggressive move? Looking over for the Tech 9. He's got a chance of just trying to fly into the side. Both players really close to one another.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a Tech 9 alongside your IWP, that can really be the main factor of wanting to play aggressive, but no, it's just too hard when you have a sniper rifle in the end, and that is a huge round to stop the momentum for Movistar Riders. I mean, that is just stop the rot entirely, and they will have now guaranteed their lead at the half. Of course, they would have wanted more after such a ridiculous start of 7-0, but Nico, in the end, has been the main instigator for recovering it in that previous round especially, but in the end, not much you can do in that situation. Alex will take that kill. And it does mean, as I say, they will guarantee the lead. And the economy for Copenhagen Flames, not the best.
Man, not at all. And that was the problem they had with, even though they won 6 rounds in a row, Trav, there was a lot of them where there was 1, 2 players staying alive.
Exactly.
We didn't have mass numbers. So now even going into round 15, we could just see a complete B exec.
Yeah, and it could be the right call as well. Sees it up close. We would expect to do good work, but he has to look away from these some players' flashbangs, and we know how good he's been on those. Every time the only one defending this site toward the back of quad can only get 1. And that should mean, basically, this is all done and dusted. It looks like we're going to have a half in Movistar Riders' favour at 9-6. There's just a 2 Deagles to try and retake this one. It should be all they have to offer. There's no guns to really pick up either. It's just as a complete BXX coming in, and there we go. Alex deals with it. It's now all down to Zyphon, and at the end, he's just looking to try and pad some stats here with the Deagle, looking for a couple of extra kills. He's been one of the main fraggers for Copenhagen Flames on this half. Looking for the first. He's been spotted out, though, and I think WG will now relay that information. They're still looking toward the flank, but there we go. They're all going to pounce all at once. That gives the Deagle no chance whatsoever. And that gives Movistar Riders 9 on the half. We're going to go to a quick break to see whether they can bring it through and take Vertigo out of Copenhagen Flames' hands.
We were caught in the fire. Our faith was left out in the open. Saw the fear in your eyes as we move through the dust. Nights turn into days, one by another. Under darkened skies, we await, bound to each other. But our spirits never die. Fighting as we push through the darkest times. I'll be there by your side. We arise when everything's breaking. Our souls will awaken. Our spirits never die. At the end of the line, the trust in our hearts beating louder. Under darkened skies, we await, bound to each other. But our spirits never die. Fighting as we push through the darkest times. I'll be there by your side. We arise when everything's breaking. Our souls will awaken. Our spirits never die.
Welcome back, everybody, to Copenhagen Flames versus Movistar Riders in a best-of-3 that will decide a major spot. I am Travis alongside Dweg. We have a lead for Movistar Riders, but it's not one that perhaps should have been, in their eyes, enough.
Yeah, you're right about that one. Being able to get 7-0 up is a fantastic scoreline, and they'll be disappointed only finding 9. And you'd have to imagine that could be the extra fuel to really get them over the line now going into their CT bases. For Copenhagen Flames, we're seeing a mid-walk where only one spotter of David G on that CT side.
Yeah, he is the player with the kit as well, so he has to be careful. 4 players looking to maybe split B again, or maybe go through connector. There's Mopos with an opener. That's an important one to try and stop this rush coming in. They're completely taken CT spawn already, and the jumping technique. The frag. Zyphon gets 2 on the block in the end, though. Looking for a third. That's a good frag from Deaths, but again, Tech9 doing incredible work. And that's a Tech9 that's been boosted up with Kevlar as well, and out of nowhere, it's all down to Mopos, and he'll be dealt with by Yabi. That is a fast pistol for Copenhagen Flames on the T-side of Vertigo. That can be so critical.
It's nice every now and then to just see those quicker rounds. We saw that one round, I think it was maybe in the 8th, when it was 7-1, where we saw something really quick coming out from Movistar Riders. And for Copenhagen Flames, it was almost just a contact play. It wasn't a straight rush out from mid, slow it down, wait for that first peek out from City Spawn. And I love how deep the map control came. Rather than just trying to split over that construction and just get into B, they took City Spawn, meaning that dealing with the rotates was so much easier that way.
Yeah, for sure, and it's one that, suffocated that retake as well. I mean, Snoke's coming in really made that possible. I really like the strategy, very impressive indeed, and it gets them off to a critical start on the second half. It is going to be a force buy from Movistar Riders, and Dweg, actually, I'll be curious to hear your thoughts on this one. What do you think about, now the Deagle's been nerfed, what do you think about forcing in this second round? I mean, you can get MP9s, you can get CZs, not just only the Deagle. Of course, the headshot is still there as a possibility to get quick fire frags, but I'm feeling at the moment that the meta could evolve into a situation where we go for a full eco and get, the silenced M4 in the next.
Oh, I don't know about... It could take some time, right? I think we've been in this sort of meta for so long. You think back in the day, you never used a force in the second round. Just where the economy lies, it's so much of a reward if you can win that second round. And yeah, even though the M4's got slightly cheaper, we may see some teams from time to time decide to go for that. To me, though, it could be slightly more gimmicky, where it might be the odd team here or there rather than everyone. And even for Copenhagen Flames, I mean, look at the map control they've got out to mid. And for Movistar Riders, other than them being grouped up on A, they don't really know what's happening with the mass majority of players.
Yeah, they haven't really sent a player looking. This is the only bit of fact-finding now for Alex. He's pushed up a little bit further toward Gap, but he's not going to be seeing much as of yet, because he is not going to go for a full committal on that one. But yeah, as you say, the pistols is still probably the right thing to do, because you can easily grab some AKs into the next round as well. But they're going to try and pounce on it now. Copenhagen Flames with Hooksy, with the MAC-10. There's no problem though, because they're going to be walking into a 5-man stack. This is dangerous. Nico will get one through the smoke, but Alex is doing more damage. But there's the MAC-10. Important frags from Hooksy. Nico gets mod pods as well, and they've just about overcome this stack. They did rotate everyone in there, didn't they, Movistar Riders? And I was scared for a second. But the bomb's down, and it should be fine.
I really did not enjoy the way that was played for Copenhagen Flames. That was so slow. And when it comes to Vertigo, just think about the double nades, the spams that you can do, the wall bangs. All it would have taken is 1 kill on the bomb carrier, and that round is completely done. It does bait out mistakes when you do run the clock extremely low, and it does bait out all the limited util that Movistar Riders could have had. It's such a risk to run that clock as low as they did. They had to rely on Nico Erdos and Hooksy to be able to get a couple of picks, even seeing a slight hunt onto Des out from CT Spawn. And you'd have to imagine that for him, he's kind of hoping that his one performance, probably a career best performance we've seen from him on Vertigo so far, turns into a map victory rather than them just starting to be on the comeback and actually being on the deficit.
Yeah, it would be a shame, wouldn't it? I mean, 20-7, and I mean, another frag at the end there that just adds to the tally. He can obviously drop his CZ over to a teammate and keep that MAC-10 with the armor for himself. So it makes Movistar a little bit more of a threat in this round than they otherwise would be, but you're always going to send the MAC-10 in if you are Copenhagen Flames in that situation to try and get a little bit more money. That's a Molotov that Hooksy's not expecting to spread to him, and he will take a little bit of damage to it, but no matter. They're going to make their way up a ramp very quickly indeed, and already some information of a player rotating through connector. So this is a round you'd expect them to win. You should have an even 9-9 game, and then basically it is literally anyone's, Dreg.
Yeah, it all just comes to that walkout, and even Des is looking completely the wrong way. So as soon as that kill comes in, Bomb is able to make its way over to that B site, get it down. For Movistar Riders, you're not really losing anything going in for this round. Yeah, you might get farmed by Hooksy. They've got that potential of just looking for a couple of exit kills, seeing if they can find a weapon. Just try and hope that they don't just get completely mopped by that MAC-10.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, you'd actually want to avoid that. I mean, look, in this situation, you can play for exits. You can go for some frags here, but avoiding the MAC-10 is the main factor, as you say. And in fact, the fact that Nico's been given it as well, which means he can try and farm up that cash for the future AWP is always something that he's going to go looking for. And of course, with everyone left on, and Movistar Riders actually don't have armor left, so it should be easy cleanups for him, but they are holding some nice angles to try and stop this from happening, and the bomb's about to explode, so we might actually end this round with 9 players left alive.
Yeah, fun fact as well for Mopoz, he's one of very few players that has lasted over 4 years in one team out of anyone in this competition. He joined Movistar Riders on the 24th of July 2017. That is a crazy amount of time ago.
That is, yeah. I mean, I have actually remembered, because those sort of stats sort of go, fall by the wayside sort of these days, don't they? With so many roster changes come in. Yeah. And I believe, is it Sumdai Young on Team Spirit that he's been on that team since like 2016, 2017? Yeah, I think that's one of the other few ones. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's one of the very few that are still around in that same roster, and they're still putting in good performances as well. We've got a fast play coming in toward A though. Coming in, trying to catch out their first full buy. Gets one, does more pause, but traded by Roy immediately. That's the MAC-10 dealt with, of course. That's the role of that MAC-10 in this round. Just go in first and create some space. And now with some passes AWP available to try and defend against this one, looks like Copenhagen Flames are going to try and slow it down a little bit now.
And they've got a lot of variation with their pace. This time around, taking ramp control quite quickly. You can see the desperation that Alex and the Orpa have over towards this A side of just getting another pick, making it difficult for Copenhagen Flames to just waste time. Do they even retake this ramp control? Yabby's waiting for an overextension out from the B side. That shouldn't happen at all, though, for Movistar Riders.
Yeah, they don't have no reason to overface here. 4 versus 4, they need to wait for this first buy. There's no point going aggressive on a round such as this, I mean, if you basically would consider it a throwaway if you overpeaked with these guns. It depends on the situation, of course, and now it might be a requirement to go peeking for something because Roy has just destroyed Alex on that peak, down to 5 HP for his troubles, but that's his second frag of the round, and now they can fall back and fall away because look where Yabby is. He's taking control of B. The smoke's down. Death is looking for it. He needs this frag, does Death, but he doesn't know he's near default yet. Yabby's crept up completely unawares. Look at this timing. You can see the X-ray, but Death has no idea, and Yabby can just swing on him. Easy frag, and even a second towards some pass on window as well. Perfectly done. All down to Davy G. Has to save, no doubt about it.
Oh, so intelligent. They've even left a lurk towards the A site. That is a fantastic round for Copenhagen Flames. Now, notice, Travis, in that situation, rather than him just jiggle peeking or wide swinging, he actually waits for the utility to come from his teammates because that's going to pull the distraction. If you're Defs, you've looked out, you haven't seen a walk forward. As soon as you see that flash and smoke, you're instantly looking back over to that left-hand side, and Yabby just works with that contact, works with the timing, and they've even got the comfortability where Hooksy says, we're opening up this B site. We know we are. Nico Odos, you stay ramp, mate, because we're overtaking B, and you're going to deal with the rotate. No worries about it.
Yeah, and it takes the AWP out of their hands as well, which Nico can just pick up for himself. He doesn't even need to purchase it. And look what that's done to Copenhagen Flames' economy early on in this half. I mean, Nico's on, that's 8.7, 8.3 on Roy. I mean, this is just already such a great start for them. And with Movistar Riders on pistols once again, I mean, this is a fantastic chance to pull away now. And we're starting to see why picking this map, which we've discussed multiple times, Dweg, is a risk for Movistar.
Yeah, this is very worrying. When you think about the start that they had, that they're now actually not in the lead. They don't even have a tied scoreline anymore. Oh boy. I can only imagine just how silent maybe some of the comms have been for these last few rounds of Movistar Riders, because this is turning into a massive choke by them.
Yeah, I mean, a choke is something, but at the end of the day, I think we're looking at a situation where Deaths has cooled off. Some Pius has cooled off a little bit as well. Alex has been doing some fragging, but they are not at the, ridiculous form as they were earlier on. And I think that's really the main reason at the moment. It's been, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's 10-2 to Copenhagen Flames since they were up 7-0. My maths is not that bad, I can assure you. And that is an incredible run to get them back into this lead. And it should be 11-9 if all goes to plan here.
Even this B exec coming in, they're not going to be faced by much at all. Wide swing comes out, Defs die straight away. They can hope the rotation's coming quickly. Hooksy with that Mach 10 is just so far forward of the pack. And for him, I don't think he's been an individual that needs to have a massive amount of success. He's always been one trying to have some lurk plays, up close and personal, and a couple of the entry frag situations too. Calling a fantastic game since they've been able to recover it from 07 down. And for Movistar Riders, they're running out of chances, honestly.
Yeah, and we all know how the CT economy can be, especially on Vertigo. I mean, you're usually not given much at all. And if the rounds are played correctly by a T, it gives the CTs no chance. As simple as that. You need to do crazy things sometimes as a CT and play uber aggressive to really make your way back. And that's something actually I saw from Sinners the other day, Dweg, which, just some uber aggressiveness on that CT side against Heroic, I believe it was, in this event. That really caught Heroic off and made it possible for them to win that one out 16-12. And that's something I need to see from Movistar Riders. If they're going to have a chance in this one, it's going to be tough. They need the utility to do it. They need the flashes. And with the economy built up now from Copenhagen Flames, how much really are they going to have left, considering how many buys Flames are going to have in a row?
I have to imagine, have a chat with their coach, Blade, who, an ex-player, played on Kick, Existence, the G2 side. They had a Spanian lineup at one point. And Dragons was the most recent one. He's been coaching this team for about 2.5 years. So definitely a known name when it comes to the Movistar Riders. And just trying to compose the lads. Just go, guys, we know we had a great lead. We've now started to bottle it. It's not over. We've still got some pious on the AWP. We need some playmakers. We need some stars. Because 11-9, the deficit's only 2. It's not impossible for Movistar Riders to still take this map.
Yeah, and I mean, we mentioned earlier on, didn't we, that the last time these two teams played, they did play Vertigo in a best of 3, and Copenhagen Flames did win that 16-12. So we're looking at, we might be edging toward a similar scoreline, honestly, at this rate. We need to see some aggressive plays on these rifles, maybe some aggression toward the bottom of A-Ramp. Having control of A-Ramp as a CT can be so powerful on this map, and it's not something we've seen as of yet from Movistar. And already, look where Zyphon is toward middle. Some parts is rotating in, though, in good time, and he could have the right timing to try and stop this play. It's being watched for by Nico, though. Oh, and he pulls out a grenade right at the wrong time. That gives some Pice a second frag as well as Zyphon swings. And with Yabi low HP, it could be a problem. He will get one in the entry, though, and there's Roy. Suddenly, we're back into a 3v3.
Oh, how frustrating is that? After your AWPer has just made such a sick play out from mid, got an incredible timing onto the first, pulling out nades. You've got a 5-on-3, and then you just lose your 2 B-side players immediately. They've got no idea that Roy's pushed up this aggressively, and for some Pius, he has to try and see if he can get a read on this situation.
Yeah, but he's been the hero so far in this round. 2 frags, as we mentioned, sick, 2 quick fire, quick 2k in middle, and now he has a chance to do more. I think he looks like he wants to be aware, perhaps, of that player up close, but he's got 2 players to look at, and that's a great flash, but it's not going to matter. Third frag of the round for him, looking to try and do more. He actually does do more, and that is an insane 4k from him to possibly close out this round. It's all down to Hooksy, 1 versus 2. He's been a bit quiet so far in this game, but now this is his chance to show up. Buffalo has a defuse kit already taken down, looking for a second, but no. Alex on the Science Stem 4 just about takes it, and that is a critical first round on the CT side for Movistar. 1 player left alive, though.
In-game leader versus in-game leader in that 1v1, and it's Alex to come out on top. A great round, a good recovery, and some Pius sort of said, we need to see a playmaker. We need to see someone really step up, and what a sequence this was. Being able to catch off both players in from mid, hold out to that default position. He's completely flashed. He can't see anything, and he still has that awareness that Roy's going to peek out from the close left-hand side.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be aware in that situation, don't you? That there could be a boost coming in, and his awareness is off the scale there. Very nicely done. It gets Movistar Riders 2 double digits, and it keeps them in touch. And it looks like he wants to go for more aggressive plays. Look at this, jumping straight down toward the B stairs. The smoke will come in, and he hasn't got a chance to fall back, but he has to deploy a smoke to do it. Yeah, but it looks like he wants to try and catch him, but he just won't be able to do so. Down to 46 HP is Yabi, so the opening damage will go in Movistar Riders' favour for now.
That's very clever with the protocols, something that would have worked out at home, that if some Pius goes aggressive, we need to have support. And you could see that Defs just puts a HE to make sure that Yabi does not push forward and just start spamming through that smoke. Even Davy G, this is very aggressive. He gets a 1-for-1. It's the AWP that helps up and opens up to that B side. Defs is trying to hold on. Nico Odos with another pick. So much chaos when it comes to the trading. Defs only finds 1 more, and now Alex has got to try and clutch again.
And this is a very durable one, though. Look at the HP. 46 on Yabi, Nico 16. And he's got a grenade for the default spot as well. Will he be able to move away from it in time? He will. Down to 42. Shouldn't make too much of a difference. And he just looks like he might have spotted that player on toward that box. But I don't think so. It's going to be a close one. Looks for the duel, but no. That's a ridiculous headshot from Yabi. And Copenhagen Flames will get their 12th with both their remaining two players on 16 HP.
Jeez, there was so much fighting going on in that round, wasn't there, Travis? Just fights being taken everywhere. Out from the B stairs, out in mid, back and forth trading. Defs just trying to hang on in CT spawn, just doing as much damage in as possible. Some Pius is just watching out to the B stairs, hoping that the rotates are going to be there in time, and the backup's just not there into support. Double eco status kind of comes in, so for Movistar Riders, they go, okay, we're going to invest slightly, not a massive amount, and we'll try and keep our economy stable.
Yeah, that was a shame for Movistar. I completely agree. They had a chance in that one, but in the end, the madness, which was I completely agree with you, very hard to follow. Trades coming in everywhere was basically impossible in the end. And Roy's just going to be given a free frag to start this round. Hello, Alex. How are you? He will get an easy opener. He's got to respond from the P250 from some Pius. That does recover it into a 4v4, but guns can't be recovered. That's on an MP7, which is a curious one, but it looks like they will be pounced on toward A, and that will, well, should be it, with two frags coming in. 4 versus 2. They're just looking for some money, I guess, with this.
Try your best, Dodd. See if you can just get one pick or two. It's an attempt. It doesn't quite come in. Davy G, a player that I've been quite impressed with. The youngest player on this team. He's 20 years old. Started making a name for himself in that Iberian family side with Defs and with some Pies. Hasn't really found a lot here on Vertigo. 5 kills, 2 assists, 18 deaths. It's not the position you want to be in. The pressure might be getting to the young man.
Yeah, and of course it is pressure, isn't it? I mean, as you mentioned earlier, we all know that this is, the first sort of LAN for a lot of these players coming into this sort of scenario. Of course, they have played matches already and had incredible success, but you're in a situation now where it's a best of 3 to make a goddamn major, for goodness sake. So, it's just different pressure, different scenarios can always catch you off, and it looks like he's having a bit of a rough start so far, but, thankfully, he has a whole best of 3 to try and rectify it, not just best of ones like it was earlier on in the event. So there'll be a chance for him to at least come back. But yeah, this is looking great, Greg, isn't it? I mean, look at the money on Copenhagen Flames. They're in pole position here, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. And it just showed that even with the massive deficit that they started this map out with, they had the mindset that it wasn't over till it's over. So let's just try and see if we can get back into the game. And not only have they proved that, but they've proved themselves to have a 3-round lead. Nico Odos, even for him, he hasn't quite been the same level of player that we expect from him. He's found a lot of impactful kills in this second half.
Yeah. It's funny that, isn't it? Because, he hasn't really done much, to be honest, but he's had that one insane play, which basically sealed a critical round to keep their CT streak going. So, it's not necessarily all down to numbers. If you get the impact frags, which win your team around, you could win your team the game at 15-14 with having 2 kills, for goodness sake. So, it all matters. It all counts, and they're going to try and take a little bit more control toward A here. Flash coming in, but there is a little bit of a setup here for Movistar. They've got some Pius on the AWP and 2 players next to him as well, with some counter utility still available. Nico's looking for that, just tagged a little bit, maybe some information. With a minute left on the clock, there's not really been much progress from either side here.
Jeez, Mobboz is still here. He hasn't backed off at all. He's desperate for a pick, and even Yabi started making his way forward out to the B side. The entries aren't really there.
Man, that's going to be 2 important opening picks for Movistar in this one. They have a great chance at holding this situation now because there's been rotations in from Davy G as well. They have counter utility too. The Incendiary can come in toward that corner position, and some space of the smoke could do even more damage, and there we go. Davy G again, unfortunately, can't get the kill. That grenade goes sailing off the map, but it's not going to matter because Alex gets 2 kills anyway. It's all down to Xiphon in a 1v3. He's got 25 seconds to go, but the bomb's dropped on the site, and Movistar Riders know everything.
All right, much better for Movistar Riders. I like the approach out there to the B site, getting numbers over there quickly, not really allowing Copenhagen Flames to create a lot of space like they have done in the last previous rounds, and Xiphon just hoping to see if he can get anything possible. Doesn't happen at all. Money's in a really good place for Copenhagen Flames, where they're pretty much going to be solid to buy for the rest of this second half.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that one was all down to Alex in the end. They're very impressive frags from him. He's been the sort of, the third guy on Movistar Riders behind Deaths and some Pius, who's really sort of kept himself with those 2 and kept Movistar in the game, really. Overall, timeout coming in, of course, they need it at this stage. It's getting toward the nitty gritty of the half now and this first map. Don't forget, it is Movistar's pick, so in a situation where if we do go to Ancient with them 1-0 down, we spoke about the Ancient stats beforehand, didn't we, Dweg? That is heavily in Copenhagen Flames' favour. So it's a critical one. And if they're to try and get this map, then they need to work their way through this ridiculous economy, which is still, after a full purchase, still got 6k, 5k on 2 or 3 players.
Yeah, if you're the underdog in this situation like Movistar Riders are, you have to be converting your map in the series if you want to start turning this into a best-of-3 win. So for them, it all comes down to Vertigo, because Ancient's going to be a tough affair for the Spaniards. What do Copenhagen Flames have left in them in terms of breaking this streak and just coming back into it? Movistar Riders, other than sort of their 7-0 start, they haven't managed to bring many rounds together. Mopos just trying to fall back. Thankfully, does not get spammed or take any bullets at all to him.
Yeah, that's pretty fortunate in the end. Usually you expect to take a bit of damage when you go for aggressive peaks like that, but as it is, they can fall back into a bit more of a default. That Molotov is perhaps a little bit too short, because some players can still peek behind it. We all know how easy it is to get an advantage with the Molotovs in this game, but that's a great choice from Mopos. On top of the boxes on the site, we all deal with Nico, and now look at these positions. Some Pius, he has a chance to do more damage, but there's a flank that could be coming in. There's basically got a huge amount of map control here, Dweg.
Yeah, Zyphon's got B. He was able to walk completely out from this mid position. So all Copenhagen Flames is keep selling utility down at this A side. And Zyphon, this is an easy pick onto Alex. This is the round done, I want to say. They could just bring that bomb over. Zyphon's got it back to a 4v4.
Yeah, and he can get aggressive towards CT as well. I mean, that is just the site done and dusted. He can hopefully waste time as well. Death's will probably look to try and take this frag. I know it's a 4v4, but he has to look for something because he knows the site's been taken. Do you play for a retake? It's a tough choice. Zyphon is here. As we mentioned, looking to do a lot of damage. He's close up, looking to get some headshots, but no, maybe a little bit overzealous there from Zyphon. He's done the work, but maybe didn't need to do that much, and it's getting punished. Right now, Movistar back into a 4v2. 2 important kills from Mopos and Davy. Of course, there's a poor game, but this flank from Yabi could be huge. He's behind 2 or 3 players. They just turn around. Can he get more? He gets 2, but only 2. It's now all down to Hooksy in a 1v2 to try and make this possible, but there's only 12 seconds to go, and he will be stopped by Senpius. Goodness me, there are so many factors to that round, Dweg.
Yeah, there really are. Copenhagen Flames, the bottom line is that's a missed opportunity when Zyphon's been able to clear out as much of the mid position as possible and deal with the only B player aggressively. You've got to be winning that round. And for Movistar Riders, they just brought players into CT spawn so quickly. Yabi tried his best to recover that 2v4 situation, just doesn't really happen. And now we see the Danes taking a tactical timeout. This is starting to really come close down to the wire. And I start thinking to myself, OT could be on the picture here. We're getting closer towards the end. It's quite tight between these two teams. It's difficult to really get a read on who's actually going to move forward and take this.
Yeah, it's the sort of game that reeks of overtime, doesn't it? You sort of have a feeling that Copenhagen Flames could probably sneak a few rounds here and there, but Movistar have looked better in the last few. I mean, it can still go either way though, and as we've mentioned again, Copenhagen Flames, they had the economy just to keep buying, so the pressure remains up on Movistar in this situation. They are at full strength themselves though, so no issue at all. Davy getting his first kill in a while, maybe that'll activate him a little bit to help out Movistar in this situation. Mopos he wants to go aggressive again above these sandbags. A little bit of a whiff, but no matter. It's like a bit of a jaw coming in toward the B stairs. Yabi does some damage, but no more. Deaths again going for an aggressive peek alongside a teammate on the B site. They'll fall off of it and retain the 5v5 for now.
Oh, Mopos with this spam, getting close to that second kill too onto Roy. Copenhagen Flames, they've got the ramp control, they've got the map presence, they've taken so much damage. That early casualty, and even some Pies, he's looking for more. He wants to make it a 5-on-3.
Yeah, he's got an aggressive angle here as well. I mean, the Molotov needs to be thrown if they have it available. Yabi does have one, but he's not really around to throw it at the moment. Mopos will deal with Nico, but that's a big miss. That is a big miss from Sunpies. He's been so consistent in this game, and that could be a critical one. It's back into a 3v3, but look where Alex is. If they do decide to go back, they'll be walking into his hands, and that's a huge frag from Death. Look how low Roy is as well. Won't be able to get that kill. Yabi finally trades it, but that activates Davy, and we're even again, 13 all.
Okay, Movistar Riders really starting to turn up the heat 3 rounds in a row, not allowing a single bomb plant in any of those 3. So with the economy, yeah, you're starting to get the loss bonus up there for Copenhagen Flames. You're not getting that extra cash injection that does make the buys coming forward all that extra difficult. And just when you think that AWP whiffs a massive shot, that's the capitalization being done. Instead, look at what Defs is able to do on the site. He's getting up to 26 now, getting closer and closer to that 30 bomb.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, he's not necessarily the one you'd expect to call on for, these big fragging performances, but he's doing it again and again. Two important frags at the end there. That first one was the most critical one. So he basically had just one bullet required to deal with Roy. And now we're at the situation where Copenhagen Flames, they've burnt through everything. This is their last buy. Nico doesn't even have the AWP. Sure, it's a rifle with full util, but still, this is such a huge round in this game. Whoever wins it is going to be on low economy. Whoever loses it, sorry, is going to be on low economy. And it's basically a huge swing. Could go either way now.
No, we could potentially, Trav, see whoever wins this get up to 15 and just turn it into 2 in a row. Just with that reset potential, Copenhagen Flames just desperate for a bomb plant at minimum in this round. At least out to the ramp contact in the early portion. They haven't taken any damage. They haven't taken any casualties this time.
And that keeps them alive for now. And as you mentioned, taking damage has been really the main thing that they've had a problem with. Going for these A plays. This time Mopos, he just about gets away. Looking for that opening duel. Does do damage, and he wins the damage exchange a little bit. But still, again, a tough situation. Everyone from Copenhagen Flames is here. They're susceptible to flanks coming in. Do Movistar Riders, do they know that they can even go for that in this situation? Trying to block smokes on the site as this play comes in. Huge amount of aggression. Dyphon gets the entry, but now he gets to do more damage as Mopos, but all the trades are going in their favour. I thought they could have a chance to still hold it, but no. 4v2, the damage from Roy and Hooksy means that it's still possible for Deaths and Davy They're going to try and go for it, I'm sure, but the low HP, it's risky, and with the money as well, you kind of want to save here. You need something in the next round, don't you? Otherwise, as you say, it could be guaranteed 15.
Yeah, Pius is the only one that's really got funds. Defs has got some behind him, but not really much at all. And just notice with that setup for Movistar Riders, they don't really have rotations in place. We've got the one mid player that comes in from Alex, and then the 2 players on the side of Mopos and Sampaius are just playing there on A. They don't really find anything. Mopos stays alive for quite a long portion of time. He only gets 1. Sampaius doesn't find anything. And Defs and Davy G, they're not playing in City Spawn. They're actually quite wide on that B side. So getting into position and keeping the chaos up is just not possible at all. Copenhagen Flames get up to 14, and Movistar Riders have now got to make a tough decision. Do we force it up here completely? It looks like they will, only because they know we saved in a couple of weapons. We've got to give ourselves the best chance possible.
Yeah, it's the right choice, no doubt about it. I mean, when your opponents are on 14, it always is the idea to buy in that sort of situation, unless, you have no choice. You're on, like a double eco sort of situation. But yeah, this is a huge one now. This is good. This is a huge chance for Copenhagen Flames to get themselves to map point. They should know that with only 2 players saving their guns over, they are a little bit stretched for utility in general, especially on a couple of players. And already we have a little bit of control toward the B portion of the map. Boosting up toward the wooden panel. Yabi is close up here, and he could get himself an entry if he is careful enough. There won't be any information from Deaths. He is looking for it, but he won't be able to see the head pop up, and he could have some unfortunate timing coming his way if he's not careful.
Oh, if they get another flash forward, they could just catch Deaths completely off guard. The swing out for Yabi. Oh, perfect. Connection to start off, and he even turns it into 2. That adjustment back out onto the mid player, and this is done. Movistar Riders have to back off and save.
That is beautiful, Dreg. That is just absolutely beautiful. I mean, we've seen that, it's not necessarily been Nico to be the player to throw all the flashes for Copenhagen Flames, but that one was absolutely spot on. It doesn't only get one, Death's completely full blind. The second or Davy G on window is just pure, unadulterated headshots from Yabi. And it means that, as you say, it is 15 confirmed. Save has to come through. At least they will have something. But now just one round away from taking the map pick of Movistar away from them.
Jeez, what a great sequence from the young man, and that's got to feel so good knowing that not only was that round sick by me, I got a couple of double entries and opened up a great B bomb site, was very clean, it gets them up to 15. On their opposition's map pick of Vertigo, and for Copenhagen Flames, 1 round to go to take the first map in this series. Is that 1 step closer to the major for them?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've already mentioned the fact that with Ancient coming up next, which is so heavily favoured in Copenhagen Flames' favour, just their record on it is so much better than Movistar. I mean, this could be the beginning of the end, perhaps, for the Movistar roster side. Of course, we have to remind you guys that if Movistar Riders lose, they are not out of major qualification contention. But obviously, if Copenhagen Flames win, they are in it. And look at this rush toward A. It's going to be a fast one. Mopos gets 1. That's a bit of an aggressive peek from Hooksy, and that's a great trade. Oh, Alex, with only a few bullets left in the clip, gets Nico as well. We look like we could have guaranteed round 30 here, Dweg.
where did that pace come from? So quick out for Copenhagen Flames. And now it comes to the mid players to not only find picks, deal with the B player, they've got to recover the bomb. And for Movistar Riders, they've just got time to waste. Just hold the bomb, keep everyone in ramp, and make sure there's no way Copenhagen Flames can bring back a 2v5.
And the thing is, though, look at Copenhagen Flames right now. They've got decent map control, decent positions, and they've got full util. If they can molly Mopos out of sandbags here, this is very doable indeed. Are they going to try it? Are they going to reveal their position? Or are they going to play it silently? The player on sandbags and Mopos is playing it silently as well, and that could catch off Davy G, but he is holding a very, very nice angle. Look at this crouch up from Copenhagen Flames. It should now be known. He can just leave it to himself. There's one, there's two. Round 30's in the books. Are we going overtime? We said it's a possibility. It's now very much on the books.
There's so many AKs. 4 AKs being saved in from Movistar Riders just because they had them all being dropped out from that ramp portion. Love the trigger discipline from the sandbags, not getting too eager in the situation. Alex moving forward. What a flick that is over to drop that bomb at bottom ramp, to be able to multi-frag with that SMG. And then Mopo's just the last player to be able to find the couple of kills. 14 on the board. Movistar Riders, this is the best buy they've had, the best weaponry they can bring forward into round 30.
Yeah, this is exactly what you want in around 30, isn't it? Even kills across the board. Of course, Movistar Riders don't have an AWP, so that's something that could be problematic. And there's Roy. What a big opening that could be. Mopos already out of the round. I'm afraid that is a horrible decision to make, to lose a man advantage so early in a round, such as important as this. Roy has gotten away with it, and that could be critical. I'm not sure if it was through a smoke or something like that, but at the same time, you can't be affording to give those sort of things up. And Alex is still around and about, but he's not seeing anything. So maybe that will force some rotations over. Copenhagen Flames now, they can just play this slowly. They know they've got a huge chance here.
That comes down to the most experienced, the oldest player on the Copenhagen Flames side to be able to open up. Roy, a very important kill. And just that slight lurk from Hooksy over to the B side, just trying to see if they could drive some of those rotations over. Copenhagen Flames taking this ramp control slightly quicker than some of the variation they've had.
Yeah, the money towards sandbags will now confirm that it's clear. Deaths is on the site. He has some Pies here to help. And these are the two players you probably want in this position to do the defending. Molotov's coming in to the double stack position, and Roy looks like he wants to go for a plant perhaps. In comes a flash to try and help him push forward. Deaths needs to go around the angle though. There's some Pies. He gets that opener, but it's all down to Deaths. If he gets his frag towards Zyphon, that could be huge. Hooksy does trade the some Pies toward Gap though, and Davy G gets one as well. 3v3 out of nowhere. Who will win this round? It's so close either way. Deaths gets one towards Zyphon. He gets another toward Nico, and now it's all down to Hooksy. It's going to be overtime, surely, unless something insane happens, and it will be. Insane recovery from Movistar Riders. We've got to our overtime we predicted, Dweg. That is exactly what we want for more exciting rounds on Vertigo.
In the dark, stone cold, sinking deeper. We are here. We keep holding on, dusk till dawn. When the water rises, when the world burns down, we will stand together. We fight forever. We fight forever. We fight forever. Standing together. We fight forever.
Welcome back, everybody, to Movistar Riders versus Copenhagen Flames. It was an insane start to this map for Movistar Riders. They had a 7-0 start, but they were pegged back heavily by Copenhagen Flames. And now, out of all that, somehow we've reached overtime. And now we get to see who will get through their first map. Movistar Riders' pick, of course, and they now having a great chance after recovering this one to make it possible. I'm Travis alongside Dweg. We're already going in for a fast play toward A by the look of it for Copenhagen Flames.
And this matchup is only continuing to deliver even further. Davy G taking a lot of that early chip damage. Same could be said by that T side. Zyphon, Yabby, Roy, all down low. This is a perfect start with the damage coming in for Movistar Riders.
I can't believe that. I mean, that is just a hugely dirty damage there from those grenades. I mean, bouncing off the crane, of course, in all sort of positions, off this corner of the gap position as well, can do so much damage. And look at this position from Mopos. He's going to try and clear out these players. That smoke is giving them an idea, and there we go. Zyphon finds it anyway. So despite the damage done, they have an opening pick to work with. That is an incredible start to this round. And of course, in a situation like this, you can always, having played so many T rounds in regulation, now back into overtime, maybe you can be a little bit stuck for ideas, especially on a map like Vertigo, where it's usually just A or B, or mid splits or something like that. This boost, though, could be perfect. Alex gets some information, but has to drop off a bit. He knows there are players up close. He could get caught out here. Alex gets one with the grenade. Zyphon, the tag coming in, perhaps from some Pies. Needs to do more damage, though. He gets one more, and look how low Yabby is. He has to try and plant this bomb now, but he could get wallbanged by some Pies. We saw it from Nico earlier, and with this player still toward double stack, it's so risky.
And Roy is desperate for a pick down towards that ramp position and gets onto Des. It now comes down to the young man, the AWPer, to try and see if he can get that round together. Deals with the first. Both players are relatively low. He might just have a chance of going over to the pistol. And for Copenhagen Flames, it's all about just trying to bait out the next shot. Jiggle peeking in from Yabby on the side. Some Pies delivers again. He needs to drive on the clutcher. Oh my goodness. Some Pies has done it. He's got the defuse for, and what a clutch coming through for the Movistar Riders. That gets him up to 16.
You would not expect that from the AWP as well. Goodness me, you mentioned he could just go to the pistol and complete it, but he didn't even need it. He's so confident on the AWP. That puts him level with deaths on the frag count in this game so far. What a bit of aggression, what a bit of a play that is, and what a bit of momentum that could give Movistar Riders in toward this OT. I can't quite believe it. Look at this first kill. That's okay, but the third one, he spots him out, gets the wall bang. Roy, no chance at all. How about that? Copenhagen Flames would look so comfortable, but the damage comes back to bite them.
Jeez, that was something really special in for some Pies, and you'd have to imagine after a round like that how pumped the Spaniards are going to be just knowing that was a round that surely had no right being won.
Yeah, and considering that fact as well, it being their map pick, they know they need it desperately with knowing what's coming up in this series. Oh, goodness, that is absolutely remarkable. Now we need to see a bit of a response here from Copenhagen Flames. That's a bit of a whiffy spray from Yabby. And there's Mopos toward A as well, taking Zyphon 5v3 early on. That seems to have shook Copenhagen Flames a little bit here. How do they bounce back from it? At the moment, not great. This could be a very quick 2-0 start in the overtime for the CT side, of course. That can be critical on a map like Vertigo. How will this one play out? We've got Roy toward the A site looking to go for an entry, but this is now 3 players on the site to defend, and some Pies is doing even more work.
Des is just trying to play in and around the smoke. Copenhagen Flames struggling to find anything. Nico Erdos, he gets one pick. Does that really make much of a difference at all? A third player looking to rotate in. You've even got a backstab in from Ramp, and Nico Erdos doesn't find anything. Hooksy, the in-game leader, is getting Ramp. He's already so low at HP. Tries to swing out again. Another round to add to the tally for Movistar Riders. And you have to remember, they were down, 13 of 15. They won 2 rounds in a row to get it to overtime. They've now won 2 rounds in a row again. They are just riding this momentum.
Quite literally. That's an incredible recovery from them, of course, after them being pegged back so quickly. We're going to see the clutch again. I mean, it's worth it. It was that insane. And that fake out as well towards Roy, I mean, that is just glorious, isn't it? I mean, the shittle shoulder peek, just to jump around the corner, then fall back, scope in. He knows where he is. He can predict it even if he doesn't see him. And it works out perfectly. I mean, we're going to be talking about that one for a while, aren't we? We have some fast plays in toward middle early on in this final round of this first half of overtime. And Mopos has got another entry toward Roy. Nico will burn him down in the end, so it recovers the situation. But honestly, Drake, at this stage, I kind of feel like Copenhagen Flames need this one, otherwise they'll just be shook going into their CT overtime.
It's the death, isn't it, the 3-0? No matter what map it is, no matter what side, it puts so much pressure on the team that goes down 15-18 because you can't afford to make a mistake. You don't have that leverage of having a round to fall back on. Movistar Riders realise the importance of converting this next. And for Copenhagen Flames, even going back out to this ramp take, what util have they really got? Flashes between them and one smoke. Going down to a set Xe is going to be difficult.
Yeah, one smoke isn't really enough for an A take, to be honest. I mean, the flashes are going to be good. They can use them toward connector, or whichever side really isn't smoked. It looks like they will be going for that connector smoke, so they can plant the bomb on that left-hand side and be relatively safe. But it's not looking too good with that utility available, as we say. They can deploy it probably with around 35 seconds to go. It will be deployed right now with 40 seconds to go. Vigi is here looking to try and defend. He can shoot through these smokes and do some damage, and he has an incendiary primed as well to deny it. That could delay them a little bit further. They've even got grenades as well, so this is still going to be an interesting one. They have given it up. They're going to play the afterplant retake. How will this one work out?
I'm going to give that flashback over to some Pies to try and move the CTs forward. Davy G's just waiting for those smokes to dissipate, and Nico Odos just down to the open has not been seen. Or they might have seen a shoulder. I think they know that he's there.
Yeah, and this is the big one now. They can go in together, Movistar Riders. They can go as a group with a flash and try and take control of it. Looking for the first. Oh, bit of a whiffy spray coming in. Alex does get one, but Zyphon and Nico will trade it. And now they know their position, but the headshots are coming in again from Nico. He doesn't need the AWP. The AK's enough. Another headshot, and now it's Sunpice again in a clutch. Gets the first. Don't tell me you can do it again. Surely not. Can pick up the AK this time as well, so it might make it even more doable. Hooksy's over peaking. That's a bit dangerous. There is some time on the bomb still to work with, but I think he's finally put it through. A dink through the edge of the wall. It's not going to be enough. They deny him this time, and they keep it possible. 2-1 to Movistar on the first half of overtime.
Jeez, okay. Well, at least for Copenhagen Flames, they're no strangers to OT. We saw them play it up against G2 on Nuke when it came to the group stage, so we know that they've been in these sort of positions itself. I guess you could make the same point for Movistar Riders having to play in those overtime tiebreakers as well, that they are comfortable in these sort of situations.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's one which is good for them. I mean, we've seen them in situations before, as you've mentioned. They're just, they're calm, they're collected, and I'm sure they will be going mad after that clutch from some Pies. That's just a huge amount of adrenaline, momentum. Sometimes it can be a bad thing, can't it? Because you go into the next round just feeling it a bit too much and overpeak stuff. But they put it nicely. At least they do get the 2-1. But again, another opening pick from Roy Torday. He's been insane, hasn't he, Drake? How many opening picks has he had? Or good defenses, at least, toward the A site. On the CT side for Copenhagen Flames in regulation and now in overtime as well.
He's been stepping up, and for Hooksy, he's getting the idea that they're going to be splitting into this B side. Zyphon only gets one. Hooksy just trying to see if he can back off on that return, make it more easy for his anchor player to just survive. HE so well placed, even peaks with it. That is fantastic.
That is just beautiful. I mean, I haven't seen better nade placement like that in a position that, is not really naded too often. That is just beautiful. I think he knew all the information there on that one. Sunpice is up to that 30 kill mark, but he has to do a lot in this one. 2v4. Alongside Death, it's the two players you'd want in a situation like this. It's the two players that have been fragging the hardest. And look at Death. He's crept towards CT, but he can't win the duel. He has to look to the side, and it will be caught out by Roy. And now just Sunpice. 1v4. I think this one's a little bit too past his ability. And he'll at least go for it, of course. He has the money to do it in overtime. There's a question, of course, though, with it being the amount of money you have in these overtimes, being the AWP player might actually be worth a save, as he'll only be on, won't be able to get it in the third round of overtime, for example, if we get there. So, yeah, it's probably one that he'll try and keep hold of.
Yeah, Copenhagen Flames probably realise this at the same time. So if they're really eager, they can try and hunt after time. The problem with that is you lose that potential of holding onto the AKs. You play that risk of being able to hold onto them and then just letting them drop. Some Pies has been very slow to get going in this series, but as he got into the second half and as he sort of moved forward, he really picked it up on that CT side. And we are seeing that late hunt come through. Can they catch him down after time would be absolutely everything. Timer expiring. Some Pies gets away with one. Oh, he's
surely
going
not.
Down. Okay, there we go. They catch him in the end, and that does actually make quite a big difference because even going into the next, someone has to get a rifle for him.
Yeah, that's actually a huge decision from Copenhagen Flames, and a lovely one as well. I love that choice to go hunting. I mean, everyone did, didn't they? They didn't hold anyone back. They went for it. They knew the possibility, and drop AWP has to come in, and that means their economy is going to be basically nowhere. They're going to have some Galils and pistols, I believe, in the next round if Copenhagen Flames win it. So it's a risky one, but going for that play is absolutely paid off to kill some Pies after time. And now they have a great chance. 17-all again. These teams just cannot be separated. What a great chance it is for Copenhagen Flames now, though. They know if they win this round, they will have had the two in a row to give them such a great chance to secure the map. was close. The last time these two teams played, of course, it was 16-12 on this map in a best of 3 in the Pinnacle Cup, I believe. And it's getting even closer this time.
Quite passive crossfire being held by the CTs at ramp. You've got Roy playing at 51 and Nico Erdos just on the line, just waiting for a jiggle, waiting for any kind of wide swing approach. You have to imagine he's going to get flashed off angle. Could see an AWP v AWP duel coming through.
And this is already such a critical phase. I mean, look at that. Roy's been tagged down to 10. He's getting mollied out as well. He's being wallbanged by some Pius. That is disgusting. He now has to get out of that situation quickly. I mean, if anything, you'd want him to be on the AWP now with Nico on the rifle, but they can't switch it. They're on opposite sides of Gap, and now Roy's in a horrible spot. Surely, if he can get one here, it would be a miracle, but no. Mopos takes him down. Now it's basically all down to Nico on this defense. If they decide to go toward A, though, they're still not committing as of yet.
Now, some Pius has had so many wallbang shots, even got a couple of kills from time to time. With that out to ramp, it's all a distraction. They're going back over to B, and there's 2 anchors here for Copenhagen Flames.
Yeah, this is genuinely doable for Copenhagen Flames. They've chosen right, but they've got a flank of death toward window to worry about. Yabi, now it's all down to him. This is a great angle to peek from. Zyphon's helping him out, and that could be great, but no, what an important headshot is that is for Mopos, and there's deaths on that flank. It's now all down to Zyphon, but he's full blind by Sun Pius. Movistar Riders with 10 seconds left on the clock are just about going to get away with this and get themselves up to 18 in the nick of time as well.
That was a great take. Even when you saw the read in from Copenhagen Flames, it's almost like they knew that it was going to be a fake and they didn't over-rotate players to that A side to help out Nico Erdos at ramp. You just see the way that Movistar Riders don't panic. Yeah, Davy G falls. Everyone else delivers. Mopos gets away with 3. Defs is able to deal with the mid player and make it even more difficult for Hooksy to try and support. And Nico Erdos just holding on to the AWP, and Movistar Riders getting up to 18. They're looking for that 19th, aren't they, Trav? That's all it's going to take for them to win this map.
Yeah, and it would be such a huge recovery as well, considering it was their map pick as well. And yeah, Nico doesn't necessarily actually need to save this AWP. He'll have enough money to buy up in the next round anyway, but Roy does need to be dropped, so it would secure the economy for sure in this one. But yeah, this is scary. If you're Copenhagen Flames, you've put in such a hard graft to recover to this position, but suddenly out of nowhere, Movistar are 1 away, and it's a situation that they haven't actually found themselves in as of yet. It was Copenhagen Flames who had the map points earlier. I believe now it is Movistar Riders' first map point in this game, if I'm not mistaken. So now we have a great chance to see if they can pull this one through. At least they both have a bye. This reeks of double OT, but let's see.
Some Pius just waiting for that early approach out from ramp, and for Copenhagen Flames, they're going to have some utility to get Roy forward. He's got to be careful with how far he pushes down, because that last round, he was just hammered by those wallbangs.
Yeah, Nico holding the angle again, going for this duel. I mean, that's been fascinating, hasn't it, so far this game, seeing Nico versus Sun Pius. You have to say, Sun Pius has been the guy to win it out more often than not. Yeah, and we see those wallbangs close, but I think Roy's learnt from it this time. He will get flashed off the angle, will Nico, but it's still, you can tell the nerves right now, Dwayne, can't you? You can feel it in the server. They know how big this round is.
Yeah, it's all about the opening man advantage. Just that first fight, the first engagement could mean everything. And Davy G with the Krieg, if they can bait out the AWP to be sort of standing in the open, it could give them a good way to just swing forward of it. Very slow, very silent from Movistar Riders, down to getting closer to 50 seconds. And finally, Nico Erdos has been flashed off angle. Yeah,
and he will deploy his right-click smoke to play that little one-way, but although they know it's a possibility, he's played it more than once so far in this game, so they will be very aware of that one. He gets actually burnt down to 9 HP, always very lucky to stay alive there, Nico, taking a lot more damage to that Molotov than probably he would have hoped, and now he has to fall away because he spots a player toward ramp, can't afford to take that duel anymore. Roy is still here to help out, and look at the time, 30 seconds to go. What's the decision for Movistar Riders?
You'd have to imagine it's going to be back over towards a fake on the B side. Mopos just trying to see if he could draw them over. There's 3 TCTs on B, but the bomb, where's it going? It's back over to A.
What a choice this could be. This is hugely nervous now. 12 seconds to go. Can they get this one done? Defs will get Nico. He was low HP, but the bomb will go down with 8 seconds to go. They can't afford to push through these smokes and deny it. This is such a huge chance now for Movistar Riders. They have a 5v4 afterplant to work with, and they have no retake utility at all on Copenhagen Flames. That could be horrible for them. It's down to the aim duels alone. That's a tag coming through the box, but it's not going to matter. It doesn't help out Roy at all. Alex gets 2. Yabi gets a response, but it's still a 4v2 for Movistar Riders. Now it's another 4v1. Look at this. It's all down to Zyphon. Movistar Riders have proven to be insane on this comeback, and they're going to spam him down. It's Davy G to get the last kill. He only had 10 kills in this game, but he finishes it off, and what about that? What a recovery. We could have a series